Another dimension of love is forgiveness. Love is forgiveness, but it is not condoling indiscipline. Love is forgiveness, but it is not making excuses for irresponsibility. Forgiveness is an opportunity you give to somebody for them to be able to do a self evaluation, improve on themselves, and become who God wants them to be. Forgiveness is not an excuse to continue in irresponsibility. Forgiveness is not an excuse, it is a gift of trust. Someone offers to you because they believe you can be better, they believe that you can become all God wants you to be. They see you beyond your flaws, they see you beyond your mistakes. That's what forgiveness is all about. It takes trust, it takes honor for a man or a lady to forgive you. Forgiveness is a grateful attitude that shows you appreciate the way God forgives your sin, the way God forgave you. So if you understand how much God has forgiven you, it will be eager or easier for you to forgive others. But you see, God's forgiveness is not the absence of discipline. God's forgiveness is not the absence of self responsibility. God's forgiveness should give you freedom. Free forgiveness is someone giving you the freedom to do a self evaluation. Forgiving somebody frees you. Here's the mystery: forgiving someone in a relationship is not you doing this person a favor, but it is you giving yourself the freedom. Because there is something that happens. Is either you embrace forgiveness and you embrace freedom, or you embrace unforgiveness and you become trapped and you become a slave, or you begin to walk in slavery. There are no two ways about it. So after you forgive, or when you are forgiven, ask yourself this question: what lessons have you learned? What is it that you should have done that you didn't do, or what is it that you shouldn't have done that you did? There must be lessons learned. It's not about whose fault it is and whose fault it's not. It's about the lessons to be learned. Second, it makes you better. It makes you a better person. It makes you to be more sensitive. It makes you to be more considerate. It makes you to become wiser. So that the situation that occurred in the past that hurt you, when it's happening again, you know how to navigate. It increases and boosts your emotional intelligence. If you embrace forgiveness, that is what it does to you. It brings you to that place. It gives you peacefulness. Forgiveness gives you peacefulness. Forgiving somebody is not like giving the person the authority to do whatever they like to you, but it is you releasing yourself from being trapped by the irresponsibility of the other person. That's what it is. It gives you peace. Grudge will not make you to have peace of mind. And if you don't have peace of mind, how are you going to talk to God? How are you going to pray? Because I don't understand how some people can keep grudges with people and still they can pray, they can preach. I don't just understand. It brings you to that place of peacefulness. One thing forgiveness does is it helps you to put individual differences in consideration. People do the things they do because of who they are and the things they're struggling with and the things they have been in the past, but that's not an excuse. It helps you to understand people for who they are outside your expectation. That is what forgiveness offers to you when you choose to embrace them. So when you experience crisis or conflict, sit down to evaluate the whole situation. Pick a lesson from it. Make sure the lessons you learn from it should make you a better person. It should give you peace. It should help you to understand people's individual differences. It should help you to grow. It help you to grow in navigating how to relate with people and how to respond to people. It's very important. This is what forgiveness does to you. But if you choose not to forgive, it brings you to the place of slavery. You become a slave to your own emotions. You become a slave to the memories in your head. You become a slave to another person's irresponsibility. And you know what? The aspect of things you don't forgive people about, it reduplicates in your life. Someone lies to you and you said, I can never forgive this person. Before you know, you begin to see yourself lying. What you hold against people becomes what begins to reflect in you. And what you forgive people for becomes the things that you cannot be trapped with. It's very important. Unforgiveness limits you. It limits you from, cultivating the fruit of the Spirit. It limits you from expressing the love of Christ. It limits you from extending to others what God has extended to you. It limits you. Oh, yes, it does. It limits you. So we must be intentional. We must be intentional. We must be intentional. That's what it does. Unforgiveness makes you bitter. Oh, yes, it makes you bitter. It makes you bitter. You need to stay conscious of the abundance of the mercy and the forgiveness God has shown on you. Be patient with this person as you are seeing this person is making efforts to become who God wants to be. If you don't forgive, there's this aggression that comes. You keep dumping on people that you meet every single thing that has happened in your past. Transfer aggression. If you don't forgive, you become a slave to transfer aggression. You become a slave to bitterness. You become a slave to limitation. So don't use your strength to judge this person's weakness, but rather use your strength to rebuke and correct this person in love and honor and discipline. Forgiveness is not the absence of rebuke, it's not the absence of discipline. But it's the discipline that you give to this person with the intention of this person becoming who God wants them to be and to cultivate the fruit of the Spirit. If you don't forgive, you start suspecting people. Oh, yes, you start suspecting people. Your own freedom from your will be equal to the rate at how you forgive us. It's not about you. It's not about you. You know what? Unforgiveness blinds you from the future and from the good that is in the people and from the good that is in you. Forgive people, but they must be responsible for their words and actions. Forgive people, but it doesn't mean you have to reinstate them automatically. Forgiveness is a journey you must embrace with love and mercy.